enthusiasts, and welcome to Scaled Affairs, the show where I try to rationalize my purchases while trying to fight buyer's remorse by presenting you a review of various anime figures. So be my guest and welcome today's figure on the turntable. Another Miku Wonderland figure from Taito. She comes to you in your typical price figure box that features a mix of product pictures and the original artwork. It's a cute design and also packed very efficient, and yes, I missed this one tag from the vendor because I buy all my prize toys locally, since it doesn't make much sense to self-import them. Inside we have once again this half-sized blister that makes it a bit harder for me to isolate the background, but other than that it does the job fine. And as you can see, there are 3 separate parts in it: the figure, the giant leaf and the translucent yellow base. I really like that all the fairy tale Mikus from Taito have the same base design, and I'm a sucker for translucent platforms, but since this is now quite a huge lineup of characters, I don't know if different colored bases was a great choice. I guess it looks fine on a single figure, but if you place them all together on a shelf, it might come off as too colorful and cheap, kinda like the old hexagon pop-up parade bases. The print on top is top notch as always, and the foot pegs on your Thumbelina are extremely tight, and you have to press down on them with quite some force to push them all the way in. This is now the 3rd Wonderland figure on the show, and I think she will do great in an upcoming spring photo, but before we can dive any deeper, here are some of this figure's key specs. Okay, so this Miku is based on the fairy tale character Thumbelina, but be honest, if you glance at her from a distance, this red and white color scheme, this victory pose and also the leaf that basically is an umbrella, this is a racing Miku in disguise, am I right? At least I'm pretty sure I already saw a familiar concept for the Good Smile Racing Team lineup. I know that her skirt should resemble a flower calyx of a crocus or maybe a tulip, and I guess it's an overall nice design, but I wouldn't instantly think of Thumbelina based on her appearance. If you swap out this big leaf for an actual umbrella, you could totally use her as a grid girl. Because the leaf is its own separate part with quite some details, but since it's also a big piece of shiny plastic, you notice the cheaper finish of a prize figure here the most. Like I said, you could remove it from her, but keep in mind if you don't replace it with something else, her shoulders reveal this lengthy hole. The leaf covers it up pretty nice, but I wonder if it was really necessary to drill that much into the figure. Another strange choice are those engraved roses on the white part of her flower dress. They are surprisingly detailed for a prize figure, but since it's only engraved on a white surface, you barely notice them. Wouldn't it have looked better if they were filled in with red color? And also, aren't white and red roses more of an Alice thing? I for one would have simply used the already existing red crossed blossoms from the front of her dress in this spot, but of course the figure does simply mimic the artwork, so I guess it's accurate. Miku's facial expression is good, especially for a figure this small and cheap, but once again the expression and also her hairstyle with this pointy red headgear does remind me of racing or beach party more than a fairy tale about a tiny girl. Her twin tails have a gradient from normal Miku turquoise to this yellowed greenish tint, but as so often, the individual strains are a prize figure's most underwhelming part. All things considered, if you are already started collecting the whole Wonderland lineup, this one of course is a no-brainer, but she also holds up as a standalone figure. The design is fresh and clean, but perhaps not what you would expect when having the source material in mind. But maybe this is a good thing, and with some out-of-the-box thinking you can transform her into something completely different in your photos or collection. There is a pink variant available, but since they only swap the colors, it still looks more like a grid girl with an umbrella and leather gloves. My recommendation, if you like the overall design, stick to the red one since it pops more and has better contrast. Next time, another figure from my backlog, since I don't expect any pre-orders to arrive in February. Until then, thanks for watching, and hopefully we can see each other again in a new episode of Scaled Affairs when I once again take a closer look on anime figures of all sorts. Take care out there and keep having fun collecting.